Namaste, hello and welcome. Today on this episode, we have two remarkable individuals who come from different backgrounds, very ordinary, humble beginnings. We have Abhay over here, who was an IT professional and now an academician. And we have Manjiri, who's been a former journalist, a former CEO. But what I'm really concerned with today is that they're both together co-founders of mayacare.org. mayacare is a company which is assisting senior citizens, helping them in their twilight years. And I think without giving a further background, without me giving a further background, I would leave it to the two of you. Abhay and Manjiri, how did mayacare come about? What was the reason and what was the concept?
Okay, so mayacare started about 14 plus years now back, and the whole idea was that our society culturally was used to children staying with parents throughout their life and helping them in their old age, like they would have helped their own children, us when we were young, and helped us by giving everything that we need to get us where we are. In their old age, it was expected that children would stay, but as the situations have evolved, even with us, all of us, most of the children are not able to stay with their parents for whatever reasons, mostly the work reasons, or even if they are staying with their parents, they are unable to spend as much time as they want because they are in their work for 12 to 14 hours very regularly. And that means there is isolation for senior citizens. Yes. And for them, even to go out of the house on their own is becoming difficult because of traffic reasons, logistic reasons, or otherwise. So we thought that, and there is no system in place from where our senior citizens can take help of, apart from family and friends, of course, and some paid services. So we decided that we should do something about it to make sure that the life of senior citizens in their last few years should be as happy as they were before and as independent as they were before. And that is where mayacare was started.
So mayacare originally, or even today, it's headquartered in Pune, if I am correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And so how does this work? If you can explain it. I'm sorry, Manjiri.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Please.
Sorry, Abhay. When people ask us where the office is and headquarters, yes. When we say headquarters, it is really the registered office.
Yeah.
Correct.
And right from the beginning, we have decided that we are not going to have offices. We are not going to have a place where people go to work.
Right.
And so in fact, we can be the first remote office ever, because this is nothing to do with COVID, and people always think that, oh, because of COVID you've turned remote. So we were born remote, and we were born with two helplines in Pune, which were just mobile phone numbers carried by different people, and two mobile numbers in Mumbai. We started like that, and over 14 years we had 12 helplines. We work now in 70 cities of India. And when we say we work in 70 cities of India, we serve the elderly in 70 cities of India. And we're very pleased to tell you that finally we are growing up, and Abhay and the team have just recently implemented a hunting line with an IVR. Okay. So we have a single helpline number now, just started this month.
Okay, great.
And it's put it to various languages, and it goes to really people who work with us, and that is really the story, that we don't run mayacare anymore.
Right.
It is our team. It is our team of persons who have overcome immense disabilities who are running mayacare, and that's where the helpline is rooted. So that's how we work.
So when you say that immense disabilities, in fact, that is what I was discussing with you the other day, but I want you to tell us about your core team, who they are, and how is it that they're running it when you say they've overcome these disabilities.
Yeah, so the core team are the people who started working with us. For example, Jyoti started working with us almost from day one. Theoretically, Prerana as well started with us, working with us since we almost nearly started mayacare in 2009. Jyoti, for example, is completely paralyzed below her waist, and Prerana has multiple sclerosis and still is able to work in whatever limited capacity she can. Then Abhijit, Abhijit Mali, who is one of our core team members, he used to be a wrestler about 7 years back. Unfortunately, he had an accident after which his body got sort of paralytic situation below his waist. His hands are not functional as effective. So he's one of them who is now completely running Maharashtra for us. Jyoti is running the whole Maya Care with her team. There are many more, like, for example, Sandhya, Madhuri, they sit in remote locations, one in Chandrapur and Madhuri in Buldhana, in remote places. And they come from varied economical backgrounds as well, with their disabilities, which makes them more difficult, particularly if your financial background and social background is not very strong. And in spite of that, they have overcome all these problems, including pressures from families and other things, and have come to a point where they are, as Manjiri said, running the operations, day-to-day operations, very effectively. Of course, they need some amount of guidance, which Manjiri and I provide as and when needed. But yes, we are coming to a point where day-to-day operations are almost run by our team.
Wow. So Manjiri, coming now back to your real work, can you please explain to our audience what is it that Maya Care really does?
Yes, so in brief, Maya Care does three things. When the elderly come to us or reach us saying, what can you do for us? What we do is medical, emotional, logistical, and intellectual assistance. And that is free of charge. As Abhay said in the beginning, there are several organizations offering a subset of what we do, which is paid service. But with us, Maya Care is absolutely free, and it is going to be free for the elderly. So right from taking somebody for a dialysis, situation, radio, chemotherapy, people who have been paralyzed, just sit and play chess with them as a therapy. Read to them if they've lost their eyesight. Or go with them to the bank, sort out their paperwork if there's some legal work to be sorted. Or if nothing else, just sit with them and listen to them or talk to them. This is what Maya Care volunteers do. We have now 1,900 volunteers across India who are doing this for us, because, as I said, Maya Care is not run by us. We can't do Maya Care. So the core team is the team which runs the administrative backbone of Maya Care end to end, right from listening to what the elderly needs to, of course, now HR, accounting, payroll. They work with Abhay to make sure the payments are done. They work with me to make sure funding is raised. We are growing up. So they do all of that. But effectively, the service is delivered free of charge by volunteers who in India we pay. And we have started the same operation as Maya Care CIC, Community Interest Company, 2 years ago in the UK. It also runs in 4 states of the UK. And similarly, we visually impaired people in the UK who operate the helplines, who work with Chandrapur, Sandhya, who work with Kolkata, which is our Ayush, who is also visually impaired, Soumya, who's in Bangalore, visually impaired. All of them together run Maya Care UK. And that is really the model. That the core team is, homebound, but the team which goes out and delivers are people like you and me, ordinary people like you and me, who have decided that on a weekend or evening, they will go and do something for someone else.
So can anyone join as a volunteer? For example, if I want to volunteer, do we need to register? Is there a process? How do we go about it?
Yeah, so absolutely. Anyone who really has compassion towards serving elderly, that is very important, can join Maya Care. Yes, there is a process of registration. You can show your interest by calling our helpline, or if you go onto our website, you can register there by giving your basic information. Then our team will call you, get all information about you, more information about you in terms of your availability, because there is no pressure from us in terms of the timing that you have to work, do this, you have to do this, not do this. Yes, there are some guidelines which we give so that when the volunteer actually visits the elderly to serve, there are some do's and don'ts for the volunteer's safety as well as for the elderly safety. So that is there. But in terms of your availability, the work will be given to you depending upon when you are available. And our team does not assume always that you said that you are available on Saturday morning. They will still check with you before the work is assigned. And yes, even the geography that you have said that I will be able to go only in certain areas in the senior citizens live in that area. All that will be taken care of. So we have that flexibility for the volunteers. And we try to see if the volunteers at least do not have to spend from their pocket when they go and visit the senior citizens. So that is how it works. So in short, yes, you can register. Anyone can register. There is no restriction.
So coming back to one thing that you mentioned about safety. Now, I understand, and I was also discussing with Manjiri, and I went through your website as well, that you also provide them for certain things like check deposit, banking transactions, or even mobile-related applications today if you want to make a payment, let's say now through UPI. How do you ensure safety in today's world? I mean, you know how minds work. There are some people who could take them for a ride. How would a senior citizen, first of all, know, or what are the checks and balances that you would have in place?
Right. So the first, I mean, as Abhay mentioned, the safety is for both sides.
Right.
You going as a volunteer or you receiving the service, both.
Correct.
So starting with first, you going as a volunteer. Okay, when you go into the rules which you see on our website, and which is the standard, because when you finish your interview as a volunteer and you're selected to start work with us, and the selection criteria is very simple. It has nothing to do with education. It has to do with honesty, nothing else. So if there is anyone interested in joining for any other reason, we don't take them. And we've had instances in the recent past where people say, oh, returns baad mein aayenge. We will start, we pay a minor amount per hour, and we pay. This is not for returns. As Abhay said, this is basically to have people who are interested in helping other people. So that itself eliminates anybody with the desire to be dishonest. Why would anyone go and spend so many hours doing so much work unless they were actually interested in being compassionate and being, wanting to help? That's the first one.
Yes.
But if there's any doubt, we say no. If people say, I can't come on a video call for an interview, we say no. Okay, you have to make your technology work. It can even be a WhatsApp video call. Usually there are Zoom calls, and we help them through it. But in the good old days, when my mother used to run Maya Care, it used to be face to face. They would come home and she would interview them. But we have crossed those bridges, and now it has got to be a video call. You have to be able to submit your Aadhaar card, PAN card, your color picture, everything, and it's going to remain on our records. Otherwise, you can't be a volunteer. So that's the first part.
Right.
Second is that when they enter anyone's house, the rule is very clear that the service needs to be provided either in the garden, in the courtyard, in the reception area of the home. That's it. You cannot go into anyone's kitchen or bedroom unless the person is bedridden and you need to read to them or something like that.
Right.
So that's very clear for both parties, what is happening. That's one, and it works really well. It has worked really well all these years. Then the other part is things like banking transactions.
Correct.
Which is the reason why we do not accept cash.
Okay.
Ever. If anyone wants to give us a donation, and sometimes it's very nice, then somebody will say 301 rupees, 301 rupees from my side, but we said no. We avoid cash altogether. And if there's an exception case, they have to receive a receipt which is issued by Maya Care.
Right.
Money has nothing to do with the volunteer. It is not the volunteer's job to raise funds. That is a different activity. And it is because we tell senior citizens repeatedly that this is not something which, there is no money to be exchanged.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want your shopping, like a lot of times you get groceries, medicines, things which are purchased by our people, they get a bill, they submit the bill, and the matter is closed. They have even gone to things like going with them to the ATM, helping them operate the ATM, all of that. Okay, so but that is after the trust is built.
Yeah.
And some things at the end of this, we have made all these rules. At the end of it, we have to leave to goodwill. If we have the slightest doubt about any volunteer, in fact, we have encouraged senior citizens to not just call the volunteer directly, which is why we have a helpline.
Okay.
So if you have any doubt, outside, because the volunteer carries an ID card, the volunteer carries, wears a badge. The volunteer nowadays, we didn't have it earlier, but now they wear some kind of identification. It could be a Maya Care cap, a jacket, shirt. We've provided lots of things, whatever comfortable wearing. But if they still have a doubt, there is no need to open the door. They can call the helpline, and the coordinator, the city coordinator, will confirm that so-and-so with this name is going to come there.
Right.
We have also to the extent, like sometimes, somebody is 84 years old, somebody is going to their house for the first time. So the coordinator had sent the photo saying this person will come. So, we have to make them really comfortable because it's not easy for them to welcome someone new in their house.
At the same time, just to add to what Manjiri said, we also randomly do, our team, I mean, does random checks with the senior citizens just by calling them to find out how they are feeling about the service. Is everything okay? Do you need more? So from that conversation, sometimes in case we realize that, oh, this is not the right thing to do, then we speak with the volunteer. Our team speaks with the volunteer to make sure that a few things, the way in which that volunteer might be dealing, just due to ignorance or whatever, rectify to ensure, again, it's all about safety.
Yes, because, I mean, if you read the newspapers, especially in India, every other day you will find senior citizens duped of some money, because
Absolutely.
see, nobody, I mean, even I find it a challenge sometimes. Technologically, it's advancing so much that I don't expect senior citizens to be in sync with what is going on. It's changing far too rapidly for any one of us to be comfortable. Which is why the first thought when you said you provide banking services, this is what came to my mind. How would you ensure? Because that is, I mean, they would have no way. They're anyway dependent. And So, okay, but are there any particular challenges that you have faced in all? I'm sure you must have in all these years. Anything in particular that you want to share with us, and how did you overcome that?
I think our biggest challenge has been funding.
Money.
Okay.
Funding is our, I won't say, I mean, in fact, if you say today, MayaCare has run so smoothly, it is our only challenge today. We are so fortunate today after so many years. As I explained to you, we started with, for 11 years, we ran MayaCare with our own salaries, and we both come from very simple Pune backgrounds.
Right.
My mother was a doctor. My father is a doctor. He's 84, still working, and also working for MayaCare in Pune. Abhay's father was an engineer. His mother was a homemaker. We come from standard family backgrounds. We are salaried individuals.
Right.
And for 11 years, we tried to run MayaCare just through our personal salaries, transfer from the personal account and pay.
Right.
And 2020, we really had to take a call that we either close down MayaCare or we do something radical, because we are not going to be able to sustain it.
Okay.
Today, we are in a situation where I am 48, Abhay is 57, and there is no way we can sustain MayaCare. And it was going to be a sad day, because there are thousands of senior citizens who depend on MayaCare.
Right.
To week by week, people come over and they depend on those people. And now we have, of course, salaries to be paid on all of those fronts. So we did something radical, and we, turn by turn over the years, we have dedicated more and less time to MayaCare. There was an interim period when I was working as a CEO of a company. I could not dedicate any time to MayaCare, and Abhay and my mother really spent those 3 years full time, doing a lot of work on MayaCare with the team. So the last 2 years, I have been working on MayaCare, quitting a job and doing this for a while with a very straightforward aim that how can MayaCare run without us? How can we first build a team who will run MayaCare and find the funding to pay the team?
Right.
So, which is where we have the team. We have now 950 persons with disabilities who have entered MayaCare, who have found some kind of career path, either within MayaCare or taken our training and got placement. So we've successfully actually placed 5 people now with Indigo Airlines. People who are,
that's wonderful.
And the team has done everything. The team does everything. The recruitment, the training, the placement, everything is done by them.
Okay.
After that, we have also now, it's been a year plus, November of 21 is when we started. We have started a small BPO operation, business process outsourcing unit within MayaCare. Because beyond us, MayaCare needs to sustain itself. And so that is also run by our Sandhya Atram. She's based in Chandrapur. She's a wheelchair user. And with her is our lovely lady called Savita, who's a single mother. She's a daughter of a slum dweller, vegetable vendor. She's in Mumbai. And she runs a BPO, a small BPO operation under her. And Arijit Ghoshal, who is in Kolkata, he's also a wheelchair user. So this is a team running the BPO now. And they've got 4 clients. We've just recently getting one more, which is running the help desk, running the back office, all of that, where it's a small monthly income, which is trying to pay for their salaries. Because the huge challenge today, in not just in India, but across the world, is nobody is interested in the elderly. And that is the challenge which we are unable to overcome. It's way beyond us. Because if you approach any CSR, the CSR unit of any company, excellent company, and we have approached, I would say now 341 companies have approached. and they're extremely sympathetic to our cause. They laud us for what we do. We have been praised and we have been blessed, and which is how we survive on blessings. But every company has said our CSR policy does not include, or agenda does not include, elderly. So there is nothing for the elderly. There is nothing. And the reason for that is also very clear. As you know, both of us have been in the on the other side, in corporate.
Yes.
Okay, because people are looking for a good story to tell. And why not? You know, people like you and me, when we spend some money which we have earned with a lot of hard work, we want to know where it went. And we also want to feel good that, you know, thanks to my money, look at this person, that they're doing well. Which is why the money is going towards causes where you see some, young person, some outcome. So again, the way the workaround for this has been, we have stopped asking for funding for the elderly.
But Manjiri, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I would think that nothing would be better than this. See, work is work. You're looking after your elderly. You're here because of them. How can we ignore them? And how is this? I mean, I find it very difficult to understand this thought process. Because you're really here because of them. I mean, how can you just deny? And the fact remains that all of us are going to grow old, right? I think our parents were lucky to have us. I don't think we are going to be as lucky, because we don't expect that from our children. And we're going to be on our own. So tomorrow, all of us who are going to grow old, then I think then we remember this day. We'll rue the day we said no to Maya care, that we don't want to take care of the elderly. So I really find this baffling to understand this thought process.
Yeah, I mean, fully agree with your thoughts, and we go with the same views. But we have to run with the real world around us.
True.
And at the end of the day, we have to adapt and make Maya Care run. So yes, it feels bad. It hurts us that why no one thinks about it, because there is no glamour. That life is ending there. The people with whom we work, unfortunately. But that is a reality. And I mean, we have accepted that reality and adapted to that, as Manjiri explained earlier, in terms of ensuring that the funding comes to Maya Care. Having said that, there are so many good people in corporate who go out of the way and try to help us personally, because they see the importance of this cause, the benefits that are being delivered by this cause. So they do it going out of the way, even through their corporate links. I mean to say, they will use all that is possible to make sure that they are able to fund us. And as Manjiri said, the cause of giving jobs to disabled people is something which is much acceptable, and that are acceptable in terms of getting the funds, and which is fine, because we are helping two weak sides of the society, two ends of the society. So people who have overcome disabilities, who would have never thought of getting a job, have got a job now. They have got they are now in a position to smile themselves, gift their own family and friends from their own money, becoming self-independent on their own money, etc. And they are serving elderly citizens. So even they get that satisfaction that even though we are disabled, we are able to serve indirectly a senior citizen. So we are happy with that situation as it. If the tide turns and the senior citizens cause becomes more valuable in any sector where people wish to fund us, of course we are more than happy. We will feel better about it, because but we have two causes now: serving the senior citizens and giving the jobs to the people with disabilities, and not just for the sake of giving them a job, but giving them a job which is a real job. Like Manjiri said, our core team is our leadership team. It's not like a simple job. They are going to make decisions. They are making day-to-day decisions while they run the operations, right? So it is not just that to say that we have given job to the disabled people. No, they are doing real valuable job, and they are the ones future leaders for Maya Care. So that with that objective, they have come to a level where they will they run Maya Care day-to-day operations. So we are very proud to say that, having put in so much of energy, I would say Manjiri has put a huge amount of energy, and she has been, of course, supported by a lot of other people, including people from corporates, in training our team and getting them up to level where they are, because I would say all of them came from the background. Our disabled people came from the background where even if some of them were educated, they had never worked anywhere. So simple things like professional ethics, starting a meeting in time, communication, corporatized way of communicating in things, doing presentations, all these things were never touched, had never touched their life for a reason that they never worked.
Correct.
But so it has all transformed their life. So we feel good that we are helping two sections of the societies who are normally not looked. I mean, they are looked after, but there is no compassion about that.
Correct.
So that is where we are.
Okay. But do you coming back to your funding thing? This, I mean, I don't know how to ask this, but has this ever been brought to the notice of, let's say, the authorities of the country or ministry, or I don't know. I don't know which is the right department or question to
I
ask
think
you.
it's a great question. It's a great question, and I keep coming back to our humble backgrounds, and right through what you and Abhay both said right now. We are optimists. Okay, if we were not optimists, we would have closed down Maya Care. There were many occasions in the past 14 years, especially first 11 years, when we were really at the brink of closing down Maya Care. When a year and a half, less than a year and a half ago, we had December of 21. We were again at the crossroads, and we had 4,000 rupees in the bank, and on average we spent 7 lakhs a month on salaries. And we were thinking, what are we going to do now? And so this is not the first time. This has happened number of times in our lives, and we would have stopped, but we have found our ways. And also, to be very realistic, what can you change? What can't you change? Can we change this? The fact that CSR does not have elderly on their agenda, no, we can't change it. Can we change the fact that for 4 years, and we rarely talk about this in an open forum, but for nearly 3 to 4 years, Maya Care is waiting for its FCRA. It's FCRA approval. It's been that long, and we have no news. We have had to reject funding because, as Abhay said, we meet good people. Every morning we meet a good person, and there have been good people from multinational corporations saying, we want to donate to your cause, to your cause. Employees who have said, we want to donate, and we don't have our FCRA, which is beyond us. So we know we have accepted what is it that in our short lifespans which are left, we can't change it. What can we change? We can change the fact that these people, out of the 900, we have 30 superstars. And we have 120 people who have worked. And as I told you, they're visually impaired. We have Anupama, who is hearing impaired, who set up today's meeting. You will not even know she's hearing impaired. Okay, so we now have a bunch of superstars, and they are nurturing the next bunch of superstars.
Yes.
So what we have done is that we've looked at the BPO as some kind of ongoing operation, where we can see that at least part of the salaries come from there. But we have designed what is called Project Bindu. So Bindu, which is Maya Care. So Bindu means a focus in our Sanskrit language, where we've seen that unlike you and me, who have so many other things to do, we have so many responsibilities, we keep going out of the house, doing this, doing that. A person is homebound. A disabled person is usually homebound, and they're in fact room bound a lot of times.
Yes.
What we find is that if they are able to remove distractions, especially negativity, depending on other people, low self-esteem, depression, all of which we have seen, they can just focus and achieve phenomenal work. And that's what we're focusing on. So Project Bindu is now in its 6th phase. So we started Project Bindu in 2020. And today we're the first bunch of 50 people, persons with disabilities who come from across the country with all kinds of backgrounds, as Abhay said. Our Manjiri and Abhay are from Buldhana. They are farmers' daughters. They come from all kinds of backgrounds, and they have no exposure, zero exposure to work, and sort of limited education, sometimes good education, but limited exposure. They come into the system. We put them through a 3-month Project Bindu program, which is a training program. Once again, I can tell you there are at least, I think, 50 organizations within India and outside providing training to disabled people, saying they will get jobs. But they don't get jobs because training alone doesn't work. So
Okay.
we've come back, and besides, they are completely, cynical about it, and they're saying training to bhi de rahe hain, hame job to koi nahi de raha hai. So coming back, now the training is such that it is on the job, and it's a combination of classroom, on the job, and paid internship. So on the 15th or 16th day, if they pass the mock interview after what is Maya Care, if they're able to say, properly what is Maya Care, and they pass the interview, they get paid work. It's a minor amount, but they get something. And so for the next 3 months, if they're earning, what we have at the outcome of, and it's a confirmed outcome which we give to any donor who is interested, and we can cite some names who have been so supportive of this, is that at the end of it, one of the three things will happen. They will become like our, Pritam Das from Maya Care, or Kolkata, who runs who is trying to now raise funds, who's actually been instrumental in this whole Indigo operation.
Okay.
So they become some like these people, Abhijit, all the names we mentioned, they become a core member of the leadership team of Maya Care. They become that. They can lead one of the recruitment functions, the training functions, placement, serving the elderly, city coordinator, state coordinator. They become something. And it's a lifelong job. Everybody knows in Maya Care that unless you tell a lie, unless you are, misrepresenting something, and there is no, that is the only reason why you need to exit Maya Care. Otherwise, they're there forever. So if you get that career path. Second, they work for a BPO. They may not want to do leadership roles, so sometimes they can't. Their disability is so severe that they can't. But there is no reason why they can't work at the back office in the BPO, our own BPO. Third is they get placed either by us, or they find jobs on their own after this internship certificate and everything else, which they get, or they go back to higher education. So the outcome of Project Bindu is 100% success because something good is happening.
Right.
And so this is the route we have found so far. Maybe next year, if you meet us the following year, we might have found another route. So that's one. And, while this constraint with corporates is there is no constraint with individuals.
Right.
Like yourself, we find a lot of compassion. As I told you, for 11 years, we have survived on goodwill.
Right.
So if there's one common thing repeatedly, even when we go to ask for funding, we meet people in general. Our teams meet individuals in general, across stratas, across family backgrounds, across caste, creed, religion, across the world. They say, wow, what a cause. And that's what's helping us survive. And that is what we hope will take it forward.
Sorry, just to add to what Manjiri said about Bindu, one of the key factors that we follow to make each individual story of an individual successful, particularly person with disability, is that we focus upon what that person is able to do rather than what the person cannot do. For example, if the person is blind, then we make sure that that person is able to speak properly and makes calls or receives calls. Because usually we have found people can really talk very well, and that's our personal experience. The person who is able to do some basic data work, we give that work to that person. In short, depending upon the ability of the individual, the work is given. Okay? We do try to see if we can overcome their weaknesses as much as possible, but sometimes it is just not possible because of their severe disability, which is fine, which is accepted. So once we accept that this person can only do A, B, C, D, then we focus on them to do A, B, C, D. And out of that, some of them can start thinking at a higher level. Those are the people and those disabled people who are willing to give as much time they have for Maya Care work, they grow.
Right. So while we are talking, there's just a thought that I have, maybe you have thought of this as well, is that, for example, Project Bindu, if we just take it independent of Maya Care. Now, is that something where companies would be willing to infuse their CSR funds?
They do, which is what we say. So, they do. So that's successful.
Can that become your focus area, and then Maya Care gets subsumed into Project Bindu, work it the other way around? It's a long way. It's a long shot. It's just a thought. I'm sorry. It's just a thought.
We don't know. We don't know what the future holds. As of this year, we are at least proud to tell you that last 2 years, we have not funded Maya Care. It has come through things like Project Bindu, BPM, all of that. Obviously, we've been involved. We have had to raise the funds.
Right.
And we have met wonderful people through it. And Project Bindu is unstoppable now, because each of these people, these 30 people, they have their KRAs, they have goals, they have KRAs, they have they have performance bonuses, they have critical talent bonuses, they have quarterly bonuses, they have a birthday allowance. On that day, for 8 hours, our Project Bindu team, they can not work and claim their money for those, and they can do that on their birthday or some other day. So they have a lot of things which are for them it's great motivation. Besides, they have done they have gone and represented MayaCare, and that is the dream come true. Next time, if you would like to have an interview with MayaCare, it need not be us. Right. Because we had people, 3 people on wheelchairs going to IIM Nagpur to present our case study. Wow. Our team has won the All India Management Association IMA runners-up on the Innovation and People Development, where companies like Tech Mahindra and Tata Steel were winning, and we were runners-up. It's unthinkable, what our people have done. We have won the Metropolis National Award, Public Health Initiative. For our vaccination project, once again run by a team of 30 people during the most severe time of that time. So these phenomenal things are happening now, and it's beyond us. Our film on Abhijit recently won the National CSR Award, CSR Film Award in Pune last month, which is whole journey of his from paraplegia to being a champion, from wrestling to being a real champion, and really using the computer with a stylus in his mouth. So this is really the journey where they are now, they're taking the steps towards leadership. And we keep saying to them, leadership for us is not about being able to walk, or sometimes it is about talking, which is unfortunately why our data team, which Abhay described, we have 3 teams: power team, voice team, and data team, depending on their ability. So unfortunately, our data team is not able to take on leadership roles. We understand why. But the voice team, the way the power in their voice is outstanding. People have spoken to them for years without knowing this person is disabled, that the person can't see. So this journey of Project Bindu is such that today is the time when they are empowered to run MayaCare, if they are able to cross that bridge of being able to fundraise for themselves, either Project Bindu or through BPM or whatever. Or even individual donors. As I said, individual donors are a very, very a compassionate bunch of people. So if you're just able to reach individual donors who even say something like, okay, every month I'll give 1,000 rupees. And if we get 100 donors like that, there will be something will happen. So this is really, the next step of MayaCare growing up, that how can it be completely independent? And of course, our team has a really wild dream, is that from 70 cities of India this year, they want in 2023 they want to go to 100 cities of India, which they will do on their own, because even as we speak, they are coordinating, they are finding volunteers, they are going to different cities. We have made films in different languages. They're showing the films. There is no part of India right now where they haven't gone to, except for Kashmir and southern northeastern states, where because of different reasons, and some North Indian cities where we don't want to go. The danger. We have not gone, but 100 cities, and then they have an even wilder dream that they want to go to every city of the world and provide the same and have disabled people in, like we have done in the UK, 4 cities, cover the UK and also go to other. So again, as I said, it's beyond us. The dream is long crossed what we could control. It's beyond us now. It's not ours anymore.
We just come to know. Sorry, we just come to know that one more city has started in India. It happens as a part of discussion. Oh, yeah. When did it start? Oh, it just started yesterday. So that's great.
I think the seed obviously has been sown by you, and you have really taken it forward. I think it's been wonderful speaking to the two of you, and thank you so much for joining me, sorry, not us. And I hope to see you all again with a bigger MayaCare and an even bigger Project Bindu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, both.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure's mine. Thank you.